Okay, what's going on out there, folks? Rooster here in Tennessee, roostercb.com. And today we're going to take a look at a brand new radio to the market, and that is the Superstar SS148 Pro. Take a look at the features across the front of it here. We'll get into the performance of it. This will be what you can expect out of one of these if you buy it off the website ready to go. Now, if you buy one of these off of Amazon or some other place, eBay or something like that, the performance may be different. You may get more, you may get less, but if you buy one from me, this is kind of what you can expect. We'll go over the features of it. We'll test the output of it on the Bird 43P. Again, different watt meters can show different output powers, so if you do have a special request for it to be tested on a certain watt meter, that option is available on the website as well. Really like this radio. I'll share kind of my overall thoughts on it at the end of the video after we wrap it up, talk about it a little bit. But for right now, let's just jump into it and get into the features of it. Superstar SS148 Pro. So immediately what jumps out to you is the large heat sink on the bottom. That tells you that this is a turbo radio that has its own built-in amplifier section. Now, that's not to say that you can't run this with another amp, but you'll have to buy an amp that's large enough to accept the drive from this radio. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the video. I'll make some recommendations for the folks that want to go that route. But that's just a heads up, it is a turbo radio. So it comes with the quick disconnect, the fused quick disconnect to run your power leads. And also includes a Ranger, I believe it comes with a Ranger 198 noise canceling mic. Now onto the mic jack, 4-pin, unit in, Cobra, Galaxy, the standard 4-pin microphone. The mic I'm going to be using on it today is a Superstar 507. I highly recommend the Superstar mics, the CM4, the 507. If you don't want to run a power mic, these things perform like a power mic. They're a dynamic hand mic for those that don't know, and they perform extremely well. Myself, not a big fan of the noise canceling mics like the Ranger 198. A lot of people do like them. Some people sound fantastic on them. I'm not the biggest fan of them, though they are probably the best noise canceling mic on the market. I recommend the Superstar 507, or if you like a power mic, an Extreme 2018. That is the only power mic on the market that I suggest. These are Extreme 2018. Moving from the mic jack, volume and squelch, pretty self-explanatory. Mic gain and RF gain. My personal opinion, especially if you're going to run a Superstar mic, I would run the mic gain somewhere between 12 and 3 o'clock. We'll just leave it right there for the time being. Your echo, dual echo controls here. Let's see if we can actually listen to the radio through another radio in the background. I'll turn our RF power up here so we're not prone to squeal too bad. Hello, audio, check 1. 1, 2, 3, audio check. Audio, 1, 2, audio check. Check, 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 audio. Plenty of audio to it, and has a pretty good sound. We can turn the mic gain back and it quietens down a little bit. Probably a little bit too far back. Let's go, about 2 o'clock seems to be sounding pretty good. Audio check, 1, 2. Now, you hear that little noise in the background? I'm glad that I did that because this thing has thermally activated fans in it. You can hear it running a little bit there. Not sure if you guys can hear it, but you can actually hear those fans running a little bit in the background. Moving on from the echo. Got a good sounding echo board in it. I like it. Probably a Ranger echo board, judging by the sound of it. Channel selector is nice. Now, we'll talk about the channel selector on these new radios a little bit, especially the Galaxies, Rangers. They're all using the same kind of channel selectors. If you just bought one of these and you popped it out of the box and you turn the channel selector, you'd probably freak out and think something was wrong with the radio. Because until you work this channel selector back and forth a little bit on these new ones, you'll get some flicker in the display. And it's not anything to worry about. The Galaxy 66 V3s are the same. There's a few other radios that are the same. That fan's just about turned off now after the radio's cooled down a little bit. And that's not to say the radio was hot. It's just as soon as it starts getting warm, those fans kick in. They're more proactive than reactive. But yeah, with the channel selector, they work fine. Just know when you get one, they have to kind of get broken in a little bit. If you find that it's flickering, just work it back and forth, and you won't have any trouble out of it. See if we can keep the radio mounted there. Instant channel 19, bright, dim. We've got it down the lowest setting just for the video. It's got 3 settings. Your noise blanker, obviously to quieten your receive down if you feel like you're getting some static. Roger beep. You actually get you a nice little light that tells you the Roger beep's on. It's got kind of the old school wimpy kind of Ranger Roger beep in it. You can usually pick out some of those Ranger radios when they have that Roger beep. Your 3 positions for your meter over here, SWR, modulation, audio check 1, 2, 3. Now you can see it is responding pretty well because we've got the mic gain up pretty high. We turn it wide open, it just boom, 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 pegs it to the right. You know, if we back it down some, it doesn't, it's not as responsive. And then your power. Obviously, with the RF power up in the red, you know, means we're higher. Turn it all the way down, you know, it starts low and swings up. Most people are probably going to run it on the power setting. Okay, so that's an overview of the radio and its features here. What we'll do now is get to the output of it and the amount of current that it draws and all that. Camera getting a little blurry. Show the current that it draws. We'll check it on average power with the RF power all the way up, average power with the RF power all the way down, and then we'll do the same with PEP. That way there's no kind of misleading tactics or anything like that to show you guys any kind of inflated numbers or anything. Sometimes some of these folks will turn the RF power up and they'll show you what it does on average with the RF power wide open, but they won't show you what it does with it all the way down. But we'll be sure to show both. That way there's no kind of misleading or secrecy going on out there. So what I want to do is dismount the camera here. There's a look at the top of the radio. There's your little quick disconnect in the back. Look at the side. And what we'll do is we will start out with the RF power wide open to show you the maximum amount of current that this radio is going to draw. Now, remember, as we turn the RF power up, the average power will come up some. So with the RF power wide open, you're going to be drawing more current than you will with it all the way down. 14.6 is our test voltage. Go to the clamp meter here, which has a fresh set of batteries in it. And that's like a 60 watt dead key with it wide open. Now, do I recommend running it at that 60 watt dead key? Probably not, but we've just got it that high in case that's how high you want to run it. You'll probably end up running it considerably less than that, but we'll give it an audio from 60 watts. Audio. So about 35 amps or so, give or take. It may draw more with more voltage, may draw less with less, but that's the ballpark you're going to be in. Probably 35 to 40 amps worth of current draw. Now, how does that translate over to the watt meter? Well, we've got a 1,000 watt slug in here. We're looking at the bottom scale. Hello. That's about 180 watts average. And then PEP. Hello, audio, 1, 2, 3, audio. About 500 watts PEP. Now what I will do is we'll come over here and turn the RF power all the way down. Come back to the watt meter. Audio, 1, 2, 3, audio, 1, 2, 3, audio, 1, 2, audio. Still 500 watts PEP. Now what's going to change is the average power is going to come down some. So again, we're looking at the bottom scale. Very low dead key. We can actually check that with a 50 watt slug here in a second. Audio, and still plenty of forward power on average. Hello, audio. Hello, audio. Now, what we'll do is we'll turn the RF power to 9 o'clock and show you how much the average comes up. Hello, audio. Audio, a little bit over 100. And now we'll go 12 o'clock with the RF power. Hello, audio. Audio. And that's probably the optimal setting for the radio, running it by itself. That's about a 40 watt dead key, swinging 140 average, and still going to have that 500 watts worth of PEP. Now, just to see how far it does go down, for those interested, let's go ahead and put a 50 watt slug in here. Turn the RF power all the way down. About 8 watts. You wouldn't want to run this radio less than that. I mean, think about that. It's dead keying 8 watts and swinging 500 watts PEP. You'll probably want to run it higher than that, more along the lines of 35 to 40 watts worth of dead key, and then let it swing that 500 PEP and 120 to 140 average. But a good swinging radio, as people would say. My thoughts on this radio. So just to recap the end of this video, what do I think about this radio? I like it a lot. Just hearing it come through the grant in the background, we were testing the echo. Really like the sound of it. Lots of audio to it. I like that it doesn't have a lot of useless features. It kind of brings you back to the older style Galaxy radios that didn't have all the stuff that people don't use. There's a lot of radios that are jam-packed full of features that, you don't use half of them. This is kind of a bread and butter radio. You've got all the necessities that you need and not really anything extra that you don't need. It's pretty straightforward. It's an AM radio, no sideband for the people that don't care about sideband. Look, the thing is about a lot of these new radios that come out, they have inflated prices because they have sideband on them, and a lot of people don't use sideband. A lot of people do, but there's a lot of people that don't. And it's just kind of like the Striker 955. It's a very popular radio, but most people don't know that the 655 does everything that the 955 does, except it doesn't have sideband. People buy the 955 that don't even use sideband just because it's a 955, and they're paying extra money for something they don't use. That's what I like about this radio. With a lot of the high-power radios that are out there right now, you're paying for sideband even if you don't use it. So this radio doesn't have sideband. It's an AM Powerhouse. That's what it's designed to be. Love the large signal meter on it. I like the way it sounds. Like I said, Ranger Echo board in it. Sounds really good. Plenty of audio. You don't have to run the mic gain wide open. Swings good. Draws under 50 amps. I mean, lots and lots of features on this thing. I don't think we got into the talkback. I must have got sidetracked here, but decent talkback.
Audio, 1, 2. Audio, 1, 2. Audio, check, 1, 2.
Decent talkback, not the greatest, not a good indicator of what it sounds like on the air, but decent nonetheless. And then, of course, your band selector here for your additional channels if you like to free band a little bit. These will be available on the website, roostercb.com. Got a limited amount of them in right now, and we'll see how they do, see how people like them. I think it's an excellent option for people that are AM only. So, nice radio. I like this one a good bit. Let me know what you guys think. Of course, comments are welcome, and let me know what you guys think about it. Questions, comments, shoot me a text, 423-299-3535. One last thing before I go, recommended amplifiers for this. So I would be along the lines of probably an 8-pill 2879C at the minimum, or a 12-pill 2879C, or a 16-pill 2879 standard. That would be the amps that I would recommend running with this Superstar SS148 Pro. Ready to go, Superstar 148 Pro. Everybody have a good day. Catch you guys on the band. Rooster in Tennessee. See you, bye.